On this installment of Diecast Import, we're going to be taking a look at a trio of New Ray models. These are a mixture of diecast and plastic pieces. All three of these are Volvo pieces. We're going to be taking a look at a wheel loader, a articulated dump truck, and an excavator. So as I mentioned, these are made by Volvo, and they can be found at a variety of online and actual store retailers. So let's go ahead and take a look at the wheel loader first. So it's a Volvo L60H. All of these aren't actually in a specified scale, but actually measuring these out, they roughly are 1/64 scale, or at least they come pretty darn close to it. So if you're a collector of 1/64 scale models, and especially heavy equipment in that scale, these are a must to add to your collection. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the wheel loader first. As I mentioned, it's in a clear window box. On the back, it has Volvo, and you can see the three pieces of construction equipment that are in this collection. So the excavator is an EC140E, the articulated dump truck is an A25G, and as I mentioned, the loader is an L60H. Underneath, just a bunch of copyright stuff. So let's go ahead and get this thing out of the box. By the way, for reference, if you need to look it up, this is New Ray item number 32093. Alright, so let's go ahead and crack this open and go ahead and take a quick look at it. So yeah, these are not specific to a certain scale, but again, they're close enough to 1/64 scale. They definitely will not pass for 1/50th scale, so do not buy these if you are strictly a 1/50th scale collector. They definitely will not work there. Okay, so there is the wheel loader. So it rolls well enough. It does have rubber wheels. The actual hubs are plastic. As far as the die-cast component on this, as far as I can tell, really the back part is die-cast. The cab is plastic, and the arm and bucket are plastic. As far as the movement, it will go up to that height. It will dump fairly well, although I will admit that the lift height is a bit shallow, and I would have liked to have seen that go up to a much higher height. And that's as far as it'll go, but you can get a decent cutting, you can get a decent angle for cut if you want to go into a stockpile or something like that. As far as your articulation, you do have that represented, so that's pretty decent. Looking underneath the model, you have a somewhat decent representation of a realistic tread pattern on your tires. But as far as any other detail underneath, there's pretty much nothing there. These are made in China. And if you want to do any custom work on these, it looks like that would be relatively easy to do, as these are assembled simply with screws. On the back you have the Volvo badge and logo here, a nice exhaust. But otherwise, a pretty simplistic model, but one that would look good on a layout or a collection in 1/64 scale. So that is the wheel loader. Next, we'll take a look at the A25G. This is the articulated dump truck. And this item number is 32103. Again, same back, so we won't spend any time on that whatsoever. Let's just go ahead and get this thing open. Here it is. Yeah, so most of the parts on here, guys, to be honest with you, are plastic. There's, I would say, 80-20 plastic to die-cast components. The front of this is die-cast, the cab's plastic, the dump body is plastic. The chassis part, for the most part, is a mixture of plastic and die-cast. So although the box specifies that these are die-cast, there's very little die-cast on these. So your dump angle actually, though, is pretty decent. Your articulation is also relatively decent. The color match between the die-cast component and the plastic components, close enough, I would say. It's definitely not exact. You can tell that even on this camera, which is not of the highest quality. There's the front, which is a good representation of the Volvo look. There's even a windshield wiper on the plastic windshield there. You have Volvo here, A25G. As on the wheel loader, you have the same style tread pattern on the wheels, which is rather unusual. But a pretty decent dump truck. Posed with the two, I don't even know if the lift height is high enough on the wheel loader. Let's see. Yeah, it's just high enough to get over the side of this, but barely. So, there you go. Okay, so that's the wheel loader and the dump truck. Probably the highlight, at least for me, of the three of these. Here is the EC140E. This is an excavator. Let's take a look at this one and see how it shapes up and see how it functions. This one is a little hesitant to come out of the box. I don't know why. There we go. All right. So here's the excavator. The arm, stick, boom, and bucket, like all of that is plastic. Tracks are rubber. Undercarriage is plastic. The cab itself is plastic. The counterweight, or the car body, I should say, that part is die-cast metal. And really, that's it. How do the tracks roll? The tracks roll relatively okay, but they are pretty stiff. So, Volvo looks great on the back. You got some nice lights there. Graphics look okay. As for the functionality, there's virtually no curlback on your bucket at all. But if you were to put this on like a DCP or a first gear 1/64 scale lowboy, it would look good. It would make a great looking load on that, due to the fact that it tucks in really nice. But in terms of like loading a dump truck, that's about your extent that you're going to be able to pose at doing that. In terms of digging below itself, that's as far down as it'll go. So it's nice to see a Volvo excavator in 1/64 scale, as it is nice to see all of this equipment in 1/64 scale. All of these are extremely affordable, being that they're 90% plastic. But it does leave a lot to be desired in terms of detail and plastic content, and certainly functionality. That being said, if you are a collector of construction equipment in 1/64 scale and you are looking for new additions to your collection, I would recommend picking up these, just because it is something different, and of course the extremely low price tag, it is worth just picking them up for that. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned, we have a lot of cool stuff coming, just be patient. Next couple weeks, you won't be disappointed, that's for sure. As always, guys, again, thank you for watching. Take care. Be safe. We'll see you soon.